Recording in progress.
Okay, thank you very much, Andrew. So this is actually week 5 of our Indigenous Global Unity Summit. Today, where my friend Mr. J. Anand from Core Carbonic Solutions Pvt Limited in Hyderabad, India, had suggested to me that he wanted to present a case study for Jammu and Kashmir and Odisha of India, which is, as he called it, one of the most vulnerable parts for Indigenous people in that country. So I'd like to start actually with a quote from Jane Goodall that was sent to me just yesterday, where she said, "We haven't inherited this planet from our parents. We've borrowed it from our children. We have not borrowed our children's future. We have stolen it, and we're still stealing it now. And it's time we get together, whatever our religion, whatever our culture, get together and start changing the way, changing our attitude, so that we can leave a better world for our children whom we love." So I'm Lloyd Helfrey, the Chief Ecosystem Director and Program Development Director and Sustainable Society Consultant for Energyme University. I'm also the co-founder and administrator of the Energyme Global Cooperation Turtle Islands International Civil Society Organization that's seeking to undertake life value education in the context of life learning gardens. I will share Facebook link here. And it sounds like somebody has an open mic. I am also a Goodwill Ambassador for the 5 Points Youth Foundation in Los Angeles, with a portfolio that covers Canada, La Francophonie, the Commonwealth of Nations, and Turtle Island communities, as a member of the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors and Activists, so AHIABGA, seeking to empower our communities to engage in royal, Indigenous, and tribal leadership, as well as interfaith, business, and neighborhood collaboratives to leave no one behind. Again, I will put in a few of my contact information links here in the chat. So I am also a member of the Global Unity Business Group, which came together as a coalition of small businesses. The Global Unity Business Group is a humanitarian enterprise and a global sustainable and regenerative development corporation, supporting and promoting the local delivery of open source, regenerative, climate smart infrastructure set up as life learning gardens. So we're managing a global unity network of localized UnityNet local community engagement teams and regional UnityNet local business development networks, and also supporting a network and work in partnership with Unity programs and events and projects and campaigns that we run of what we call the Unity Network organizations that have been established around the world that deliver the projects, the campaigns, the events, such as our Trees of Peace and Reconciliation tree planting ceremonies, our Sunlight Spectacle virtual entertainment events and shows, which include these Indigenous Global Unity Summit series events, and coordinated international bubble fund festivals. We are also working in support of the expansion of the Global Women's Development Network, GWGN. And as noted, of course, we are supporting and promoting the local delivery of open source regenerative climate smart infrastructure set up as these, what we call life learning gardens, designed for the delivery of hands-on practical learning programs, supporting all manner of life value peace education with these infrastructures, these gardens, including CSV gardens, retreat forests, climate smart kitchens, spark learning centers, or what we call climate smart educational training centers, and real of life farms and farm schools. So our projects really include things like sacred site and watershed mapping, something called the CPP program, or Collaborative Tree Planting Initiative, for twinning communities, development of the system of payments for ecosystem services, using digital tokens of exchange for certified climate smart products that help to permanently sequester carbon and that are made by humanitarian organizations that are helping to implement these global solutions for achieving sustainable development goals. So some of our other key campaigns include what we call the Dream Boards in every community campaign, to establish local community dream boards where we help to mobilize the youth and help turn their dreams into reality. We also have an up-and-coming tea diplomacy initiative. So the humanitarian entrepreneurship learning programs that we'll be supporting is very much focused on engaging youth, and educators, and decision makers in the learning programs and the community engagement processes, but with a strong emphasis on women and girls as leaders in their communities, and also of their homes and families as per SDG 5, gender equality. So the goal of our business really is to eventually establish a new 21st century economy of compassion and cooperation, and the recognition of life value as being fundamentally more important than money value, where money is just a fictional construct created by humans that helps us to make decisions about the most economic pathways to achieving certain outcomes, which are based on the goals that we individually and collectively set for ourselves as human beings. So the Global Unity Network really is what we are establishing, and we're delivering education, training, and awareness raising programs through the network in cooperation with the Global Unity Business Group, which is networked through an International Unity Gardens network, which is in turn supported by a Unity Learning network of educators who understand the importance of delivering programs of life value peace education in our local community. So this is the primary overview of who we are. I don't know if we have Jay on the line yet. I will admit the two people that.
Yes, Jay is here, but you may want to introduce your guest.
Oops. Yes. So thank you very much. I'm going to actually let Jay introduce himself, but I just wanted to say that I've known Jay since about 2011, so about 10 years already, when he joined our Biochar Offset group, which has about 200 members who are living in India. Eventually, he joined our Biochar Stoves group, our Biochar Education group, while he was working as a research consultant for the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. I'm not sure I said that right, in Chennai. They also contacted me in late 2018, asked me if I wished to take part in responding to a call for proposals for undertaking what was called a Sustainable Lifestyles and Education program. At that time, was being supported by the government of Japan. And through that interaction, I was eventually discovered by Bill Sosinski at Anand University in New York, where I subsequently joined his organization as well. So since that time, Jay has been a member of our Biochar South Central Asia group, as well as being among the most active members of our Biochar Offset group, a professional network, and all the affiliated networks. And so what I would like to do beforehand is just to provide a little bit of an overview of the Global Unity Business Group, which I talked about before, but it's really being co-created by the members and affiliates of the Global Unity Network, which is now coming together in these communities around the world. But we are confident, as my colleague Bishara Saheli actually wrote recently, to help through this network steer us in a way so that people can really appreciate heaven here on earth as part of a universal human economy. Allow us to serve each other and all of life in a more principled, life-grounded faith, as he said, using tools and systems that are self-empowering, self-realizing of all these life values that we have, what he calls the felt side of being and action. So this is part of a collective love affair, really to better understand the better sides of our nature, as Dr. Saheli wrote, again, as a stepping stone in the right direction to help us decolonize from the dominant life disabling narratives and to re-indigenize to a better life enabling universal life grounded framework of human beings, being our knowledge, our knowings, and our doings. So as I wrote actually yesterday, it's our intention to demonstrate that it's possible to create a business for all of the people of Earth, and that it's squarely focused on this idea of maximizing life value for the collective, not at the expense of the individual, but for the benefit of the individual and their family and their community. And where we can in fact achieve an abundance that is really currently unheard of in human history. So these benefits would be measured in terms of life value gains for the individual, for the collective, which we feel is really required to be inclusive of all humanity. So this is as an essential part really of something that actually Dr. McMurtry from the University of Guelph recently said was the unspoken imperative of the earth. So it's part of our project to actually try to reclaim these sensibilities, to re-indigenize via this collaborative and the cooperative companionships at all levels of life organization. So really, I will share a couple of videos later during our conversation, but I will also let Jay introduce himself. If you could unmute yourself, thank you.
Hi, Lloyd. Thanks for giving me brief information. And yeah, you have told me our association for last 10 years, and it is very nice to present our case. This is we presented with our partner organization also, Mr. Chandan, and Chandan is with us, and they are working with the organization called Yusuf Medali Center. I would like to present my previous work with MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. You rightly said I was associated with that. During that time only we got associated, and now I'm a director of this organization called Core Carbonex. And I have also one colleague called Dr. Sanchita Das. She is a doctorate from one of the prestigious institute here in Mumbai. They maybe want to say hi to you, hi to everyone basically. Mr. Chandanji and Dr. Sanchita, would you like to say hi only?
Hi everyone, nice to be here and look forward to an amazing meeting and great insights from everyone. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for that introduction.
Yeah, so most of the work what I presenting, they are working in field, and just as an advisor, I'm designed the entire work and entire program for them. But they are the main player. They're the main key players. They are working with the community day night, and this is what we are presenting today. It is their job only. So I should not take any credit out of it. Means it is most of the work they are doing it in the field. Even the MSSRF, I have already written a thanks mail to them that I'm going to present few of the slides of there. So just to say how to connect the global unity of Jammu and Kashmir and Odisha, there are several things we can be united and we can be participate together to address one thing, that is food security, which is I have not mentioned because earlier I thought we requested you, and this is mid slide. So just to brief our new organization where I'm working as a director of Environmental and Climate Change Division, we are working with several key clients, UNDP, DFID, World Bank, UNOPS, Intex, and mostly we started our journey with carbon credits and doing UNFCCC accreditations and all. And almost 100 projects we have completed as a certified agencies till 2013. Now 2020 till 2020 we have reached to 250 projects in different sector: agriculture, water, forestry. And we also work in India with policy advocacy, monitoring evaluation, and closely working for different agencies where we are working in agriculture, water, and forestry. So if you see where the sectors we are working in as advisory role, regulatory audits, and policy studies, where we are working with water and wastewater sector, agriculture, socioeconomic capacity building, forestry and biodiversity, sustainability, climate change, and energy. So climate change, energy, sustainability, this 4 area is my core domain, where I'm supporting to team and other sectors peoples in India, Africa, and Southeast Asia. So this organization work in Southeast Asia. They are working in Myanmar, Bhutan, and Sri Lanka. We earlier worked in Ghana. We worked in Nigeria. We worked in Kenya. So right now we don't have project in Africa, but we have experience to work in African countries. So today topic I kept it this scaling positive agriculture. This is the global issues, and Core Carbon X with several NGOs. One of the NGOs I introduced today is Yusuf Merali Center. They have trying to adopt 3 basic positive things, which is climate positive, nature positive, and farmer positive. So this is the 3 coins, the words we are coining to strengthen our programs, to strengthen our agriculture program, basically in supporting resilient, productive farming and food producing to the communities. And specifically, Yusuf Merali Center, I tried to introduce today that they are working fully with tribal peoples, which I work mixedly with the rural and urban areas, but they work in the purely with the tribal areas. And they have found many challenges while we are doing studies in different parts of India. So there is a misalignment between food businesses goals and farmer needs, preventing combined actions, fragmenting public-private partnership in tribal areas. It's very tough to generate a fund through public-private partnership because they always look for immediate benefits, in immediate success, and time span has been changed after COVID. Like anything, it is like within a year. So we used to design a program for 3 years or 5 years to get a benefit out of it. Now we have a window of 6 months or a year to showcase the PPP model to be benefited, and it is becoming very challenging. So one crop, you can't see any development in particular areas where the land is degrading or challenges is different. Their practices is totally different. So I will go through some practices of tribal community. Similarly, we found the policies, which is strongly new government has come with very positive practices and financial mechanism, which is almost to generate fund for the community by taking loans or several other financial mechanism, which is having a grant from World Bank and ADB, which is very limited, and approaching is quite tough for many agencies. So that is also there are so many risk is also there to avail those kind of funds that I'm going to explain you in our presentation. And lastly, that lack of consistent metrics and unclear signs for companies to transparency track and disclose progress. So they are not aware what they need to do, what kind of transparency is required in particular in tribal areas. So if you see the solution, we are just focusing few of examples for today's presentation. So local geographical context, land use practices, how it can be improved from our side, technology innovations, how they are practicing their own technology, how we can improve the technology and make a business cases. So YMC has made almost 12 business cases in different, more than that, I'm just telling, it is my knowledge 12, but maybe more they have done it. They can also answer your queries if you have. And they are working, there's a large program of Government of India as farmer producer organization to be established in India by this year only 1,000 numbers. So in 1,000 numbers, they are establishing 15 odd numbers of farmer producer organization. And that is a journey we are just, playing with them in the field level. So how we can unite to sustain their livelihood, sustain their employment, sustain their incomes for the tribal areas. I just to highlight, this is the area we are working in India. This is this particular place called Jammu and Kashmir, and this is the place Odisha. So we are trying to reduce the dependency in the agriculture sector and enhance employment and source of income for the communities. And the large number of people in both the states, they are undernourished. They are under the below poverty line of India. And they spend considerable amount of their income on food, almost more than 75%, 80%. So that is the community we are working. So as I said, we are working in three, sense of things. One is climate, one is nature, and third is farmer, and how we can make them positive. So we have a challenges. Any part of country, we have some challenges. We have some positive thing also, and we came to know from different agriculture practices. Few of them, after all challenges, they are performing still well. And YMC are working very much in this areas on like finger millets, maize, pearl millets, sorghums, and they are trying to sustain the production, and they are working in a way that productivity should be maintained, which is the program we have designed at the field level. So this is one of the study Government of India has been done, how the area will be again vulnerable in future in 2021 and 2050 time period. And the work, what I'm telling you, that those both the areas in Jammu and Kashmir and Odisha, they fall under medium to high vulnerable zones. So that is the challenge as per the government side also, and there's a focus, a special focus, which we are bringing with our knowledge and capacities. So this is also one of the government programs where our government is very interested to, to tribal should bring not only the productivity enhancement, but also to tribal should go for entrepreneurships. So these are the target, what you are saying, 10 one Dham Vikas Kendra should be open. That is a unit at a level of farmer producer company that will be managed by the community, that need to be open, where self-help group comes together, that is number of 10 minimum, or it can go to 100 and thousands. So those people come together, they come with their own company, and they work for the entrepreneurships. So these are the target. I don't know when we are going to achieve, but this is the very phenomenal targets our government has been, put it for both the states, and few of the targets we are achieving from our work. Why we have chosen Jammu and this area? Basically, these are the more farmer positive. So if you see on an average, is India average, agriculture household in the rural area is 57.8%, where if you see in Jammu and Kashmir, 82.1%, and then Odisha is 68.3%. So we wanted to work on the aspects of the climate issues. We wanted to work where we have a population percentage of rural household. Still they are practicing agriculture, and there are different dimensions, and both are hilly areas basically. So we have other challenges, like in 2025 population projection is shown 8.5 million in world, and this Malkangiri districts, one of the districts, their population has been increased among the state is the number one, is the top number one district, which has 25% of population growth in that particular area. So if we believe these numbers, we are going to be food deficit. It is written in the world is 700 billion tons. So, and the same population growth we have seen in Jammu and Kashmir. So we are going to be food deficit in that if the growth is going like that. So, and we have to meet this target as well in the food security and women. So just to highlight how tribes in different parts of India and particularly working in Jammu. So if you see, this is a state of Jammu and Kashmir. So each of the districts, these are called districts like in province and other countries. These are the district. Each and every district has their own tribes. So these are the tribal peoples, and we are basically working with the Dogra and Bakrawal. So those people are nomad tribes. They are tribals. Generally, they walk and they roam around and they goes this particular point to this particular points. So not Dogra, but Bakrawal travels this point till this point. So Gilgit, this places. Some people they move this side, some people just move this side. So what Indian government has done recently, they have targeted several groups of tribal, and they made it a new particular vulnerable tribal groups out of number of groups. So 75 such groups have been identified and categorized, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, which is economically backward. They don't have a technologies. They do low have a level of literacy. The population is stagnant, and those are what we have shown in both the district where we are working is Gond. This is a picture of two ladies belongs to those tribal groups. Dogra and Bakrawal I have shown you previous slide, and those societies social and economic development is very poor. So that's why we have chosen those communities. If you see the food habit of those people, and those people, they don't have nutritious value. They don't eat nutritious foods. Whatever they are getting, and they can keep it for their travels, they just take that. They grow that much. Like very few people eat any vegetable. Yeah, almost all the people are happy with maize and wheat and milk products, onion, potato, and few of them are very. If you see other vegetable, it is more than 70%, but the number of percentage of that number size, the sample size is 210. So out of 210, these are the numbers are there, but in practicality, they are not well eaters of vegetables. One time in a day, they can take it that vegetables. They are more on the milk products. They are more on the grains and cereals. So those they can take it and they can travel. So this is how they are traveling at one point till Himalayas. Those points they are traveling. So it's called Joji La Pass. So they start from one location and they travel. They are only their entire family dependent on livestock. The agriculture is very limited to them, and that is why we have come across and designed a new program for them. So what we have done, we have started a program called WADI, which is a government native programs, which is run by NABARD. That is the bank system of agriculture system in India. And then India promoted one program in Jammu and Kashmir. It's called Walnut. And what we have done with the women group and men also in the part of this group, but maximum group member is women. They are doing producer or input supplier. So entire value chain we are planning. We should. This is the red box we are right now working as a producer label. But this window need to be increased and cover all the sectors. So we should go for the support sector. We should go for global trade conditions. We go for the national retailer, wholesaler, and exporter. So right now we are in this stage, and we want to go further. Why we are saying we should go? Because recently India UAE has signed a treaty, and they are trying to create a 2 lakhs additional jobs in India. And Walnut is one of the program where you need more people at field level to grow walnut, process it, packet it, brand it, and sell it. And if you see this chart, we are working in Kashtawar. This is the place where the percentage is quite less from compared to other district or Jammu and Kashmir. We are working in Udhampur, tribal group. Again, the percentage is less. And this is a blue color where the area we are working for it is called Rajouri districts. So all the districts where we are working, it's a number of plantation of walnut. It's very much acceptable in that climate and environment. But the scenario has changed and in recent years, and the people are also lost interest about the prices and coming walnut from international market. Now we got a new opportunity to enhance our productivity, brand it, package it, and sell it to the market. So that is why we are focusing and increasing our productivity and come to this circle and cycle of chain with more area, more productivity, and more profit to the community. So what we have achieved and what we have done at the field level, if you see how FPO works, that is called Farmer Producer Organization in the tribal areas. They work with, like YMC is working with the farmers to get better access to quality input, technology, credits, where this tribal people can work together, work with the community, work with the groups, and then they have avail the better marketing access. So that YMC is focusing at the economical scale to better readiness of income of the groups. And government has decided one district should have one product which should be scalable at international level. It should the surplus thing should go, and globally it should be. Anyway, this is walnut has been traded for long times from India to Canada, also India, Europe for long time. But this still there are several places in Jammu and Kashmir which has not been traded, and that is the practices we need to avail and we need to initiate at that particular location. Finally, to have all these things, adequate training and hand holding is required, where we are pitching, we are focusing on. So if you overall, if you see in this package of practice with this tribal groups, so we are doing FPO networking and providing e-platform for two commodities. One is walnut and apricot. So business to business, we are doing all the marketplaces, sale, purchase, agri services, food processing solution, logistics solution, and marketing services. We are also focusing how FPO, FPC need to be understood by the community, by experts, and how can be linked by the companies, distributor, retailers to cater to the needs to the farmers. We also are trying to provide seed, fertilizer, pesticides, which rightly they said I was mostly focused on the organic, and the YMC is also willingness to showcase everything in the organic way. So far, whatever practices they have adopted in their farm, it is organic. So trying to reduce whatever agriculture inputs suggested by government, we are trying to reduce it in any means. Similarly, bulk buying and selling without any marketing and setup costs, that is the prime interest of this e-platform. There's another interesting thing is how government can support warehousing services, cold chain services, supply chain, and marketing and branding, where we have an active role and where we can get a support from you people. A few of them I know they are doing branding for a long time. Yeah, even Liard also. So out of this boxes, one of the state we have focused few things in agriculture, livestock, and education, and three in these communities, because this community is very hardly needed FPO, FPC, and self groups, and this tribal enhance to their livelihood. So if we know their monthly income, it will be less than $100 per day, per month, not day, per month. So that need to be announced, and government is have put a new slogan is called double income. Whatever existing practices are there that need to be doubled in due course of time, the 2 years or 3 years that we have to develop. So they have lots of ruminants, they have lots of cattles. They are not aware of very much about how to make it a dairy product or value-added product and process wools at producer company level. That we are trying to pick it up, and we are trying to do that. Linkages with veterinary clinical camp, because they keep traveling. They don't aware of camps, where the new camps are there, where the government has initiated, where we are initiating. So make them aware and make them avail the facilities which is provided by the government, by us, and enhance their technical knowledge and modern livestock programs. So milk productions, improve breeds, and improve mineral supplements. That is the practice we are providing it. We can also enhance interaction with Canada, India research institutions to develop those things, in a bigger way to support them. One of the tragedy of this tribal group, because they travel a lot and they keep traveling, their childrens, they are not able to migrate, and if they are migrating, their school facility is very need to be strengthened. That is, we have seen a new challenges in that particular area. Those tribes, their children should be educated and discontinued during the time of migration. So we don't want to change their package, their practices, which is from the ancient time, but they should be trained, they should be educated, they should be, understand everything. Now I'm just showcasing my second work of in Odisha, the other state. So there are several tribes are there in Odisha also. We are only focusing Gond and Bonda tribes. These are the two tribes we are working. So if you see climate positive sites and farming practices, we are working in this particular area. It's called Malkangiri, and the government and I also one of the member from that program, and we did a vulnerability assessment in particular area, having climate data and these three important linkages: prevalence of marginal and small land holding. So their land holding is decreasing day by day. So what is the land holding size? How they are vulnerable? How they are vulnerable to lack of forest space per 1,000 rural inhabitants? And what is the vector-borne disease has been happened to those peoples? So these are the indicator we have chosen with the climate indicator, and we found out these are the particular areas are highly vulnerable. So we are in Malkangiri. But what is the positive side and flip side of this area is Malkangiri tribes grows 20 crop varieties with one particular field. And that is a geoparadising of biodiversity in that particular area. That is called Danga Chas. The tribe itself, they name that farming practices is Danga Chas. So that practices need to be more smart, technological, supportive. So those practices need to be, scalable in that area plus other part of the India, where one crop, a single crop, a monocrop, it is keep challenging that particular tribes and other tribes. But this specific places, we try to promote this Danga Chas practices where they can grow for more varieties at one location. So their food fight between crop and everything should be minimized. What policy government of Odisha has brought into that state, and that is we are trying to adopt in our area also. They are promoting nutrition literacy using traditional crops. So millet, I was telling, one of the crop they are having, if you see this picture, they have such varieties of millets, which is educated to the school children. Government have taken an initiative to feed the school students with this meal, only millet meals, in comparison to rice, paddy, or wheat. So, and this is a new practices. Only one state has adopted in India, but the other state can also adopt because millet is having more nutrition value than paddy and wheat, which has been globally accepted. So this is a mission of government of Odisha. This is what I was telling. They put venture money of 100 crores with 5 lakhs farmers, 55 blocks, and they have tried to implement immediately. They have to implement it 30 blocks in 7 districts. And this is what they are trying to develop a map of nutritional security schemes that we will maybe venture with them, and we are in touch with the government where we are working in the skill level to make a nutritional map for the state. The other thing is they got a UNESCO certified of nature positive, nature conserving their own nature, practices. At a time they were growing 100 variety of crops and only one hills. This is a picture of one hill only, and surrounding of one hill they were growing 100 varieties, and that has been recognized by UNESCO. So that is a global important agriculture heritage system, which has been Odisha has been awarded in 2005 or maybe later. So that practices not been scaled after that. This is my layout aware that my work in MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. After that, we tried with many government. We have not able to scale it up, but future we can scale it. During my work in Swaminathan Foundation, we tried to make a garden of medicinal plants. So they are very good in, they are basically healers. They are good in understanding of their own medicinal properties of each and every medicines of species. And they heal by different asthma, headaches, stomachache, there are several things. And each tribes, they have their own gardens. So they have a different way of growing species. So this is what we made a nursery. So how tribals are growing their species in a different way. Some they put it in high, some put it in low. So those practices, we have put it in a smaller field and make it a museum like a thing. So anyone can come and understand each and every species, what is growing by the tribes and what is the medicinal properties and how it can be healed of different health. That can be scaled it up in different parts of India. That is still, it has gone for many policies. This is one of the example I'm trying to show how tribal people are eating yams. So might be you have not seen this big size of yam. And this tribal lady is keeping one, and it can be, she can eat this one yam for almost, 3 months. So that kind of facility need to be, that kind of leverages, we need to find out what they are doing and what practices they have, and that need to be scale it up. So those practices are, we are not talking, we are not discussing, and it is not coming in any forum. So what is farmer positive in that particular area? So if you see the working female population in particular places, so this is one places where the women community is very high in totalities. But they are spread really well. 500 to 1,500 people are there in each particular village. That is, you can see. So less than 500 is a green patch area where there are less people are there. But most of this area we can work in future. But right now we are focusing this particular area. We are working in this particular, and this is a water. This is area where we have water availabilities. But this we have chosen where water scarcity is there, where we can improve more water. So what was the objective during that project? It was like to study livelihood and food practices and food habit in the study area, to find out the gender gap in work sector, to study the role of women in livelihood practices and food distribution. And they were very much interested with the paddy, maize, and nizer. Nizer they are using for their livestock. It's a grass. and they are very much, wherever they got the irrigations, they go for the potato, vegetable, and mustard oils, mustard seeds. And these are the things they have a, the ratio of female and male category during that need to be improved. So male and female, the percentage what they are doing, agriculture, wage labor, forest product collection. So these are the main area women are focusing like anything, and they are more going to the longer distance, collect all for forest produce, sell it, and they sell it and cost of less than $100 in a month time. So that is their enough livelihood in that particular region. So if I see another aspect of the districts and what we are promoting regenerative agriculture with the different technology. You can see the pictures of different technologies. This is a seed, this is Conovida. This is remove the weeds of that particular field. So they are doing wage, basically different category of farmers are there, large family farmers, marginal and small farmers. So these farmers we are trying to adopt. They are only working on wage or non-timber forest produce. So their farming practices becoming lesser and lesser. So other large family farmers, they are still focusing agriculture, non-timber, say sharecropping and animal husbandry. So this gap need to be filled. This need to be some bridge so they can enhance their income. So this is their food habit. They eat roots, they eat fruits, mangoes, jackfruits, and they have different leafy vegetables and tamarind. For their own food purposes they are carrying. These are the different leafy vegetables are there, which is the local language names. And this is maize, makka is there, and kanju is called cashew. So this is a cashew, and they have a village, vegetables. And these practices, what we are saying, whatever they are having their own traditional practices, it should go to the nutritional gardens. So this is what you are saying. This is the nutritional garden, and whatever they were growing in their field, that need to be scaled at the stage, so they can get at least weekly 3 kgs of vegetables. So if they are growing in such a way, one family should get a food of 3 kg vegetables in there for the family. This is, you have seen tendu leaves. This is called you have might be seen. It's kind of cigarette in India. It's called bidi. So these are the leaves they have collected, and this is one of the income source for the community. So this is the different designs. I said this is 1,000 to 1,300 square feet, which can provide weekly vegetable for one family less than 3 kgs. And beneficiary can grow 12 to 14 species in this particular pattern. And in the middle, they can grow for any fruit trees. So surrounding will be leafy vegetable, and inside maybe papaya or other fruit which has less canopy that can be grown. So they are growing brinjals, chilies, ridge gourds, bottle gourds, and this has been adopted with one organization called Pradhan in India. So this practice has been adopted. So different organization is having different kind of kitchen garden. We also made a different kitchen garden, but this is one of the practices which has gone very much success in India. So being a CCX and partner of YMCA, same thing we are adopting in both the places. We are doing micro sensing portals, creating portals, and we are creating a FPO farm app where they can get information of satellite weather, all crops, where they can sell it, how FPO can connect it to other FPO, how Kashmir people can connect and develop a market for other tribal groups, and they can get information about soil, water, crop monitorings, and market strategies, prices. Those linkages we have developed, we have been developing, not fully developed, we have been developing in this. And if we develop this, we can find three solutions: economic factor affecting food consumption patterns. We can check it. We can reduce that challenges. We can improve food habits affecting consumption patterns, which is nutritional foods, that we can check it. And we are also we are just also willing to to get a carbon credit through Vira, because Vira have agreed to partner with us, and they are planning to develop either carbon credit mechanism. Uh, Sorry the spelling, but carbon credit mechanism and carbon neutrality. So this is what a regenerative agriculture we are adopted and we are trying to practice, which is knowledge based, technology based, healthy seeds based, and based of the climate and what kind of nutrition practices need to be given, and how livestock can be come into the picture. So altogether is a win-win situation for the community, which has been practices for the long time in this particular regions. That was my last slide, Lloyd. Thank you for listening. I welcome everyone if they have any questions, if they have any more information to be asked, I will glad to answer, or my team can also answer. Any technical, I have not presented anything technical, which is I am just like a modeler, climate modeler. I have not put anything related to modeling and all. But I thought this is need to be balanced, because it is a group, which is having a technology interest, which is having a trading interest, which is having a interest of crop to crop. So I welcome and open to answer.
Yes, thank you very much, Jay. I mean, you've done some really remarkable work that I think actually we can all learn from in terms of the practices that you're trying to implement. And what we're doing with this